Hello class, I'm going to walk through using the four different voting methods to determine the number one winner from our poll asking for you to rank the three destinations, Australia, France, and Scotland, in order first, second, and third place. So these are the results from our class, and this is considered a preference schedule. And we've listed the 6 potential ways that these destinations can be ordered. We know there are 6 potential ways because we take the number of candidates, which is 3, Australia, France, and Scotland, and we just do 3 factorial. And if you'll remember, factorial is just taking that number 3 and then multiplying it by 1 less and 1 less until you get to the number 1, and then doing the math. 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. So there are 6 potential sequencing that we can have for these candidates. If we had 4 candidates, it would be 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is 24, I believe. There would be 24 potential ways that you could order those 4 candidates. So that would be very cumbersome. So at the moment, we're dealing with 3, and I'm just using the letters A, F, and S to represent the 3 destinations. And at the top, we have the number of votes that each of these sequences received. And as you can see here, Scotland, France, Australia, that order received 0 votes. So we can show it this way with 0 votes, or we could not show this column at all. Either way. But I'm going to leave it here just for clarity so that we can see the 6 sequencing. And so we're going to determine the first place winner using each of the different voting methods. So plurality is just whoever received the most first place votes. So we need to look up here. A received the first place, and these 2. So it received a total of 9 plus 7 votes. So it received 16 votes in first place. France received 4 plus 1, 5 first place votes, and Scotland received 1 first place votes. So since Australia received the most first place votes, then Australia is the winner using the plurality method. So for plurality, we have Australia. Now we're going to do the border count method. The border count method is when you assign points based on the position. So you start with the lowest position, which is third, and assign 1 point. And second, going up now, second position would be assigned 2 points, and first position we would assign 3 points. And for each of our candidates, we take the position that they're in and multiply it by the number of votes that they received in that position, and then we add that together. So for this, I'm going to use Excel to do the math for me. Throughout this video, I might just throw a little bit of Excel stuff in there. And over time, hopefully you'll be able to do that. You will need to be able to use Excel somewhat, especially when we get to the financial part of the class, to make your life easy. So in Excel, if you start any cell, and these are cells, wherever you put your cursor, that's a cell. If you start the cell with an equal sign, Excel expects you to put in a mathematical equation after that, or a formula or a function, and it will just do the math for you. So it's just like using a calculator. So I'm starting for A. I'm going to determine the number of points that A is going to receive, starting with an equal sign, and then I'm going to let Excel do the math for me. So in this first column, there's 9 votes at 3 points because A is in first place, so that's 27. And then I'm going to add to that 7 votes at 3 points is 21. I'm multiplying those 2 numbers together, 7 and 3. And I'm going to add to that. Now here A is in second place, so that's 2 points times 4 votes is 8. And then A is in third place, so that's 1 point times 1 vote is 1. And I'm going to add to that A, 2 points in second place, 1 vote is a 2. And this is 0 over here. So then I just hit enter, And as you can see, Excel put the result of that equation in this cell, which is a 59. If you look up here, you'll see what is actually in the cell. It's that equation, but it will display to you the result. So A received 59 points. And now we'll do the same thing for F. Start the cell with an equal, no spaces, and F received 2 points with 9 votes, so 2 times 9 equals 18. And then F received 1 point for 7 votes, that's a 7. 3 points, 4 votes, so 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 points, 1 vote, so that's 3. And then 1 point, 1 vote, that's 1 times 1 is 2, and I'm going to hit enter, and I get a 41 for F. And lastly, we'll do Scotland. And Scotland received 9 votes at 1 point. And Scotland received 2 points for 7 votes, so that's 14. And then Scotland received 1 times 4 is 4. And Scotland received 1 times 2 is 2. And Scotland received 1 times 3 is 3. So we calculated the points for each of the candidates, and as you can see, the most points is 59. So again, using the Porter count method, A is our winner. Okay, plurality with elimination. Plurality with elimination is like plurality, except to actually win, you have to have the majority of the votes, not just the most votes, but a majority. So you have to look at your number of voters, which is 22, and determine what a majority would be. Well, with an even number, we can just divide by 2 and add 1. So in this case, I'm going to let Excel do that math for me. And I'm going to say equal 22, and I'm going to divide that by 2, and I'm going to add 1 to it. So that's what I'm putting in the cell. And that's telling me that the majority with 22 voters is 12. So the winner is whoever receives the most votes, but they have to receive 12 or more votes to win. And in this example, we had A winning with 16 votes. That's more than the majority of 12. So with plurality with elimination, A is the winner as well, and we don't have to do anything special to figure that out. But we will go through an example where we do something special. Pairwise comparison is when we compare each candidate with the other and assign them votes, if you will, based on whether in each sequence, whether they're above or below each other. And we have to create the pairs that are conceivable. And to determine the number of pairs possible, we can use this formula right here, n times n minus 1 divided by 2, where n is your number of candidates. So our number of candidates is 3. So 3 times n minus 1, which is 2, is 6. Divided by 2 is 3. So we know we have 3 pairs, and you do that to make sure that when you create your pairs, you're not missing one. So we have A versus F. That's one pair. We have A versus S. And then the last pair would be F versus S. So those are the 3 possible pairings that I can have. Now for each of these, I'm going to assign points, or votes, if you will, based on whether in the sequence one candidate is above the other. So in this example, A versus F, I'm going to look at each of these columns, and first I'm going to see where A is above F. And A is above F here, so A is going to get these 9 points. A is above F here, so A is going to get these 7 points, so that's 16 total. A is not above F here. A is not above F here. A is above F here, so I'm going to add 1 more, so that's 17. Now I'm going to look to see where F is above A. Not here, not here, here. So that's 4. Plus 1 is 5. And that's it. And I also want you to notice, once I have my numbers here, that if you add these two numbers together, it should equal my number of voters. If it doesn't, then you know you made a mistake somewhere. So it's just a way to double check. 17 plus 5 is 22, and that's my number of voters. Now A versus S, 9, plus 7 is 16, plus 4 more is 20, and that's it. Now where's S above A? Right here, which is 1, 2 versus 2. And you can see 20 plus 2 is 22. And now let's do F versus F. F is above here, 9. Add 4 to that is 13. 14. That's it. And now where is S above F? 7. And 1 is 8. So now we have our comparisons, and then we assign a point every time a certain candidate has more votes. So A has more votes here, A has more votes here, so A gets a 2. S is below A, S is below F here, so S gets 0. And F below, above, so F gets a 1. So again, we end up with A having the most points. So using pairwise comparison, A is our winner. And also, if you remember from the PowerPoint, a Condorcet candidate is any candidate that happens to win in each comparison. If they win in every comparison that they are in, then they are a Condorcet candidate. So in this example, A wins here, A wins here. So A is a Condorcet candidate because Australia won in every comparison. You could still win and not be a Condorcet candidate, but in this example, A is a Condorcet candidate. Okay, so those are the 4 examples, and I'm going to quickly go through plurality with elimination, and I just monkeyed the numbers here so that A would not have a majority right out of the gate. Majority is 12. In this example, A has 11, France has 5, and Scotland has 7. So even though Australia has the most votes, Australia is not the winner using plurality with elimination. So with plurality with elimination, we look at the candidate who has the least number of first place votes. And in this example, it's France with 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. So we are going to eliminate France and just shift everybody up. So if I eliminate France here, I just move Scotland up 1, eliminate France, so I'm just going to shift Australia and Scotland up. Eliminate France here and move Scotland and Australia up. Eliminate France here, no effect. Eliminate France here and move Australia up. And now we recount our first place votes. And we have 9 for Australia, 10, 14 for Australia, and we have 8 for Scotland. So we have 14 for Australia. So in this example, 14 is greater than or equal to 12. So once we've done plurality with elimination, Australia would be the winner. So that is it. I'm hurrying up because this video doesn't let me do a lot of minutes. So have a good day, and as always, with any questions, please reach out to me sooner rather than later. Okay, have a good day.